Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Jules, and then for those of you who don't know who I am 19 years old. I am transgender. I came out about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and responding to the video that Trisha Paytas had recently come out with. Claiming that she feels that she identifies with being transgender, being gender fluid, basically in the sense that she feels as if, you can be multiple genders at once. In her video, she says, she feels like you don't have to pick a certain gender. You can be a girl this day and you can be a boy this day. The reason why this sparked such this made me so irritated to begin with. And just to put it out there, I am not saying I am the one who decides or anyone in the community decides who can express themselves and who would want to join the community and who, I'm not trying to sit here and say who can or who can't join the trans community, but what I'm saying is the things that Trisha was saying that she felt and was struggling with are just things that everyday trans people do not deal with. So first of all, she made several points in her video saying, she feels as though she is a transgender female to male because she doesn't really have interest in doing her makeup or doing her hair, and she likes to go out in public and not have to be dressed up and look a mess. She says in her video that she 100% does not, resign with her being female. She thinks she more corresponds with her being male. But then at the same exact time in her video, if you watch, she says that she 100% corresponds with the birth she was assigned at sex, which is female. So for me, that's just kind of irritating because it's not... The whole issue, the whole point of being trans is having that gender dysphoria with the gender you were assigned at birth. So for me, I was assigned male at birth. I was born male, but mentally, emotionally, and everything that I am in my heart, that's not what I agree with, and I feel like that's not who I am. I feel like I was always a female. I was born female in here. I act like a female. I do everything like a female. I have a female mentality, and not at all, no way do I agree with the gender I was assigned at birth, the sex I was assigned at birth. Mentally, I don't agree. So that's kind of the whole purpose of being transgender or being non-binary, is you just kind of have that disagreement with yourself and that dysphoria with the gender you were assigned at birth. So in Trisha's video, her claiming that she doesn't agree that she was assigned the right gender at birth, but then she 100% corresponds with being female, kind of just doesn't make sense to me. She kind of says in her video that she also feels like she is trans because she is turned off by straight men. Now, that is another thing that really gets me because your gender and your sexuality is not something that just goes hand in hand. Just because I'm trans female, male to female, and I want to be a girl doesn't necessarily mean I have to be with a man. I could date a girl, I can date a transgender female, I can date a transgender male, and I can date a cisgender male. It does not matter. So for her to sit here and just be like, well, I think I'm trans because straight men turn me off, well then maybe that your gender identity really doesn't have anything to do with your sexual orientation. And that's something people deal with on a day-to-day basis, is kind of being confused sometimes in the moment of who they might be sexually attracted to. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of other things that really were inaccurate in her video. Just making claims that, she really loves her female body and she's so confident, but then she also she feels as though her life would be easier as a man. So I just don't know if She also mentioned in her video that she has always had penis envy. She always said that maybe if she had a male body and male parts, her life would be easier, which, again, like I'm saying, I'm no one to try to say how someone else is mentally feeling, but it just doesn't make sense to come out here with all these confusions about yourself and then putting it out to a platform of million young, impressionable followers when you're kind of giving them false information on transgender people and the transgender process. She says in her video she was really fascinated with the transgender community, and she really feels like she is a man inside, but then she really loves glam and this, and then she proceeded to say, she added to her trans issue that maybe not only is she trans female to male, but she feels like she is transgender female to a homosexual male. So, but she did also say straight men turned her off. So this is where it's really confusing. And this is where it really starts to get to me, is because I think everyone has kind of had enough with the trolling and just people making a joke out of serious issues. Like for me, I grew up in a small town, went to the same people I went to kindergarten with, I graduated with in 12th grade. It's mainly a white area. I grew up a Puerto Rican child raised in a normal, traditional Spanish family, and being trans was not something that I just pranced around feeling like one day I want to be this, and then tomorrow I'll be a boy, and then today I'll be a girl. And you can't just pick when you want to have these struggles, which is kind of annoying me about Trisha's video, is that she is very privileged. She does have money. She does have the exposure. And she knows that what she says on this platform can very much sway people's opinions about certain topics, especially about the transgender community, because it's something that a lot of people aren't educated on. And I think it's mostly because people don't want to educate themselves on it, because people just don't care. So everything she said in that video can really, have people who are ignorant to transgender issues start thinking that everything Trisha was saying is the facts, that you can just turn this on and off and you can come out as gay, bi, trans, and then you want to be a gay male. Like, you can't, it's not something that easy, and I don't think it should be taken as a joke. Like, this is something I have fought with externally and internally my whole life. And while I am very, very proud to be transgender and I love my trans identity, and I'm welcome to anyone trying to join, but I feel as though she should have talked to someone. If this is seriously how she feels, she should have talked to someone a little bit more educated, maybe a therapist, maybe someone who could just, if she wanted to make a public, a public claim about how she felt, she should have been educated on a lot of the facts. She came off in the video as very ignorant and very trolling, and I just think a lot of people are sick of it, because it's people like this who make transgender a joke, saying that you can turn it off and you can turn it on, and I could be a boy this way and a girl this way, or I can literally classify myself as them, or I can have no gender. It's those type of people who say these things to the public, and it's what kind of makes the public lose respect for us as a community, because they just think it's a joke and that we're all trolling and then we all have mental disorders. Like, I am normal just like any other girl, for those who know me. Trans is not the only thing I talk about myself. It's who I am, and I love that about myself. But when you're with me for a while, you just kind of forget. I do everything like a girl. I dress like a girl. I look like a girl. I talk like a girl. I do things with my girlfriends, I just do everything a normal girl would do, and I'm not always talking about my gender. And I just feel like the modern day society of cisgendered people just think that we sit here and joke with our gender, and we love to be offended by everything, and we love to have pity about being trans, and oh my god, woe is me, my life's so hard because I'm trans and I don't know what I am and I don't know who I am. It's not like that for everybody. Most trans people are very proud and very self-assured in their transition, and they're very self-aware of this is what they want to do. So in Trisha's case, kind of making a mockery of the whole community and just being very uneducated, and then putting that out there for millions of people who are also just as uneducated as her to see, it's just what sways people the wrong way of how they feel about the trans community. And this is what I'm really just trying to have advocates who really stand for trans rights and everything that is trans, and not make a joke out of it. We are real people with real issues. We go through everyday things, And we're not trying to make a joke out of our struggle. And I can only speak for myself that I don't try to push my struggle onto other people. The way that Trisha came about on her video was like, woe is me, I have something to say, it's been bothering me for so long. And then when she started to talk about her maybe being trans, everything just seemed so ignorant and trolling and joking. And it's just not fair that these influencers with all this exposure and all this money, they get to say whatever the hell they want. And they get to say some of the dumbest, most uneducated, outlandish things. And time again, these influencers are getting away with the nonsense they put out. And I'm just so sick of it. If you're going to talk about a community of people and try to be an advocate, please make sure you are educated on every single point and topic you talk about while addressing those issues. Because being uneducated and then putting that out there for millions of people to see, it's just now all these people are going to have false information about the trans community. They're going to have all these new ideas of how it works and who we are when it's just not the case. I just rather see this from someone else, or she could have made a video with one of her very famous transgender friends who actually know the facts and the real life scenarios of what goes on. When you're really trans, it's not something you just turn on and off. It's a struggle you face every day. So for Trisha to have this privilege of having basically all these identities to fall back on, it's just very, very ignorant for her to be Trisha, I want to be glam this day, and then make videos about her being lesbian, and then she goes back and saying she is straight, then going back and saying that now she wants to be transgender, and then going to say she's transgender but not to a straight male, to a homosexual male. And it's just not things you can pick. If you know that there's an internal conflict and you know something is wrong, but you don't go around and you just can't pick what you want to be every day. And that's what pisses me off, because people think that this is how us as a community of LGBTQ and the trans community think. They think this of us. They think that we're crazy. They think we have mental disorders, and it's just not the case. We're normal as anyone else if you really get to know us, and we're educated on what we are and what's going on, and we're not crazy. It's becoming more and more mainstream. But my issue is when people are joining it as a mockery and trolling and just not being true to themselves, just sitting here thinking it's a joke. And that's what really gets under my skin. So I came on here to make this video just to kind of start off my channel, because I see so many lies and so many ignorant comments about the trans community. And when I was growing up, I wish I had someone on YouTube who looked like me, who was trans like me, who was, of Spanish descent like me, that I can relate to, just to see that I wasn't the only person going through a struggle that was similar to mine. So the reason I'm coming on here was just kind of put an end to these dumb rumors and these ignorant, stupid influencers who say whatever they want and make millions of dollars doing it with these views, and they always get away with this stuff. So I will be coming on here to talk about all things translated, the journey of my transition, tips and tricks of what helped me during my transition, even though it's still a very new lifestyle to me as well, and just how to really assure yourself and be proud and be confident in your own skin while being transgender, and kind of figuring out this new world. When you switch a gender, you've kind of lived both lives. You see things from both sides of male and female. I have once lived as a male, and now it was such a different life. Now that I am living and taking things in as female, it's a very different experience. And I would love to share my side or my story and my journey with people, so we can kind of just get all these trolls and clowns off the internet trying to be an advocate for our community who don't know shit about our community and are very uneducated. So, yeah, thank you for watching. My name is Jules Marco. My Instagram will be down below. And yeah, I look forward to making more videos like this. Sorry, it's like all rambly and jumbly. I'm not gonna even edit it. I'm literally making this right before work because this video got to me so much. But, yeah. Basically, I want the trolling to stop, and I want real advocates for transgender people to just live their best life and be true to themselves. We need more people, we need more transgender role models in society just to break these stereotypes and these walls down that they have this idea of us being drag queens or cross-dressers or just being mentally insane. Like, I'm done with the false, all the lies and just everything that isn't true about our community. And I know it seems like I'm rambling. I just have such a clouded mind right now because I'm really trying to get my point across that we need to educate people to gain respect. And when you put out information that is false, uneducated, trolling, it really loses a lot of respect for our community. And it just makes it feel like we're less safe. It makes us feel like we're less a part of society and that we don't belong. And I am really here to change that because we belong here as much as anyone else belongs here. This has really been such a year for the trans community. I look up to so many famous trans people who don't put out bullshit on the internet, who actually put out videos that help encourage and help educate the world on trans issues and trans people who are doing great things for the world. So I look forward to coming on here and just making more educational videos about trans rights and everything that has to do with my process and my transition. And I really hope it can help some people out. So thanks for watching. Bye.